בלילות שנתך נודדת, וכל חלום הוא למורה. עתי אז את אוזנך לשקט, כל חסד רחמים עוד יעלה, הנה הוא בא. כי בשבילו נפשך נשמרת, הרי קרבה היא השעה. עד ששדוד בזרועותייך ייפול בסוף הדרך, כשישובו לגבולם. רק מנעי קולך מבכי, ועינייך מדמעה. כי ישר ייפתח לו, יבוא בו בסערה, כשישובו לגבולם. רק מנעי קולך מבכי, ועינייך מדמעה. כי ישר ייפתח לו, יבוא בו בסערה, כשישובו לגבולם.
Okay. My sister Rochel was bright and intelligent. She loved life and people loved being with her. Needless to say, my strongest association with my sister is that she saved my life in Auschwitz. But all her life, Rochel loved family and made every effort to stay connected. What was even more wonderful was that she made even strangers feel like family. At Julie Lassner's shiva, Daniela told me how Rochel and Chaim Baruch met the Lassners at the Tekendama Hotel when they arrived. New people came to Bogota, how can we help them? Sure enough, they were immediately enveloped into the Fogel home and family. Rochel was superbly capable. In an hour she could put together a beautiful dinner for guests and made no big deal about it. It was very hard for her to send her children away. By being the frum person she was, she believed that she had no choice in order to give her children a proper Jewish Torah education. Whatever Jewish life was in Colombia came from Rochel and Chaim Baruch's home. They built the community mikveh in their house. If anyone came to Bogota, and many did, from the Klausenberger Rebbe and government official from Israel, they were guests in the Fogel home because it was one house in Colombia that everybody knew was totally frum and kosher. Rochel had a sense of humor and read a lot. She spoke Yiddish, Romanian, and Hungarian and taught herself Hebrew, Spanish, and English. She was a devoted and selfless mother and wife. She was a beautiful woman whose face was often compared to Elizabeth Taylor, but Rochel was even more beautiful on the inside.
Pepe had asked me to put together a video of things I remember about Mommy. I do remember things about Mommy, but it's not about Mommy, it's more that I remember what Mommy was doing. Mommy, I've told the kids about Mommy making cottage cheese, or Mommy making, or having the chickens, or having eggplant burning on the stove, but that's really things that Mommy did. I was trying to think all along of what I remember most about Mommy that was different. I do remember Mommy, I don't remember Mommy at all getting upset or getting, with all the guests that came to the house day in and day out, with all the people that trudged to the house to the mikveh, or all the people that slept in the house, Mishlochim, dignitaries, rebbes. I don't remember Mommy ever complaining. And I really thought that, I don't even remember her facial expression that she complained. But there was one aspect that I do remember Mommy the most, and maybe that's for me the most, is Mommy's regal demeanor. Mommy always looked regal. She was, I don't remember Mommy ever dressed differently, always, with a beautiful dress or a beautiful hat in Colombia, or properly dressed all the time. And it sort of gave her a regal demeanor. And in my mind, That's why I always thought Mommy, she was so proper with the Mishalachim that came in, with the guests, or just with us at home. She was always address Daddy as a papi, as queen to a king, and that's always that I remember about Mommy. Thank you.
I feel as though I always knew Mimi Rochel through the stories my mother told us. Yet my first real memories of her were at the age of 10 when we flew to Bogota for Akiva's bar mitzvah. I remember her as a strong and yet soft woman, someone you could easily talk to. I remember her taking me to the market on market days and explaining to me the different types of mangoes that existed and introducing me to all the tropical fruits I had never seen before. I remember her rice dishes and everyone fighting for the pega, the crusty bits on the bottom that stuck to the pot. I remember her devotion to Yiddishkeit in a place where there was so little. The shochet that came before Rosh Hashanah to shech the chickens and feathers flying as the chickens were cleaned. Her being the one responsible for the mikveh and allowing us to take a dip on a hot day for a wonderful treat. I never heard her speak a harsh word and will always remember her sparkling green eyes. It's just a shame that you, the grandchildren and great-grandchildren, couldn't know her, but you can be very proud that a part of her is in all of you.
Cars, but when we went out and they took us to a camp, and when we entered there, suddenly we see your mother at the door. It was like an angel. You cannot imagine. We were so excited, and she was she got a position there, and everybody was working or in the kitchen or whatever. I was very hungry. I was so famished. I just remember sitting there, and your mother would bring me bread again and again, and I was crying and eating it. I was sure I'd take away everybody's food, but I could not stop. I was so famished. And after that, when I told them that I felt all my life, I felt so guilty that I ate everybody's food. And she told me, child, we had enough. It was not, you did not eat. But she was, wherever she was among the doers, among the organizers. I asked once Brada, how come that they chose you to be Lagerälteste? She said, because they saw that the Germans that you know, and when they transported us, they saw that I arranged that it should be clean, or that she do, you know, they saw in a person the capability. And I imagine that was the same with your mother, that they saw the capability in her. And she must have, but for me, that couple of, I don't remember how long it lasted, from when they took us into that second, you know, into the camp where they were, till liberation. But for me, it was, you know, just, I was so famished and I had so much food. Off to Colombia. And there is where I got to know your mother, when I arrived to Colombia. All I remember is this open house. First of all, we lived there as a couple, I don't know how much, till we found an apartment and went on our own. I did not know anything. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to everything. But the most it was so impressive that she could in no time make a meal, a thing. People would come from, everybody came to that house. It was such an open house. There were always a long table in the living room, in the dining room, a long table full of people, always people invited. And for me, she was a mentor, and everything. She really, and with such kindness and with such goodness. Still, I really did not know anything about cooking, about anything because it was her.
A name is very powerful, and a name is a significant part of our essence. I think because of this, I have always felt a special connection to both Rochel Imenu and to my grandmother, Alea Shalom. There were a lot of parallels in their lives. Both of them were beautiful women, had husbands who loved them and waited 7 years to marry them. They both sacrificed to have children and yet didn't live to see them grown up. And they both have Yartzeits in this month, Mar Cheshvan. I always pictured my grandmother, Alea Shalom, as weak and fragile, because that's what I had heard about her, that she was sick and died young. Never realized that she was a leader, an organizer, a doer, and a very strong woman. She was a noble and regal woman, wife, and mother. I hope I can learn from her and live up to her legacy of having an open house full of guests, of being a doer, of taking charge when a leader is needed, and of sacrificing for the children we were blessed with, as we see in our days, V'shavu banim legvulam.
ראו בנים את גבורתו, שיבחו והודו לשמו, ומלכותו ברצו קיבלו עליהם. ראו בנים את גבורתו, שיבחו והודו לשמו, ומלכותו ברצו קיבלו עליהם.